Right now at 6, finances for a new College of Business at Pitt State finds a path forward at last night's City Commission meeting.
And the sun is rising over what is going to be a very sunny and very warm day for us today. We'll take a look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, federal grant money may provide some answers for the question of homelessness in southeast Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday. It's June the 12th, and it is halfway through this week, which means we are almost halfway through this month, and we are about halfway through the halfway point of the year.
Lots
of halfways this week. This week is a halfway week, so we're going to halfway do our jobs.
Ooh, sounds great.
I don't think the bosses would go for that.
No,
I don't think your bosses would go for that either if you just halfway. Look, they said it was a halfway week on the news, so we can do a halfway day of work, right? I don't think it works that way, unfortunately. No. However, boy, if you're working outdoors, and this may honestly be the case for some folks, you may have a halfway day with, given how hot it's going to be and how much hotter it's going to get over the next several days. Let's start with a look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. The sun is rising. Just a couple of clouds out there now. Those will soon be gone. MoDOT camera 20th in range line. Looking back to the south, clear skies out there, and it will continue to clear out, and it will continue to be quite warm. We've had some patchy fog here and there, some slightly reduced visibilities, but things are considerably better than what they were earlier this morning. Even earlier this morning, they weren't terrible, but there were some reduced visibilities out there. Future track heading into the afternoon and evening, there are no clouds out there. The only thing that you're seeing is these very warm temperatures as we go through today. Our temperatures this morning, though, about average to start the day. We're in the low to mid 60s across the region, and we've still got a couple of 59. Sedan and Jay both at 59. This is the last average morning we're going to have for a while because as our daytime temperatures heat up, that means we don't cool as much heading into the evening, and our evening lows are going to be above average and a bit on the mild side over the next several days. Sunny as we head through the afternoon and clear skies as we head into the evening hours. Temperatures mid-upper 80s out there. And we're going to have a light south breeze, so really no relief from the heat, even from that wind. So if you are outside, do make sure you're taking precautions and that you're staying hydrated. It's going to continue to get hot, but we also have some thunderstorm chances in the forecast. We'll look at all the details on that in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, just before midnight, neighbors called 911 saying flames were visible from a house on Douglas Circle in Carthage. Everyone was out of the house safely as firefighters arrived. They reported flames coming from the roof. The blaze was under control within the first 20 minutes, but the house suffered extensive damage, displacing the residents. Carthage Fire Chief Ryan Huntley tells us preliminary investigation reveals an electric issue as the source. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The city of Pittsburgh agrees to terms with Pitt State for millions in funding for a new College of Business. The Gorilla Rising project aims to develop the new college as well as on-site parking at 3rd and Broadway. It would also see the redevelopment of the Best Hotel on 4th Street. The city yesterday approved the funding agreement for $10,050,000. They say it will provide a much-needed update.
It's an opportunity to, one, get a new facility for the College of Business that's sorely needed for our business students, but also by moving it downtown, we can create a tighter linkage with the business community in Pittsburgh and the surrounding region and with the city. It's a great experience for our students and a great opportunity to enhance the business community in Pittsburgh.
The city also approved $32,000 in funding for the Kelsey College of Business Economic Research proposal. The city of Pittsburgh is requesting more than $300,000 in federal funding to help address the homeless issue. Every year for more than a decade, the city has applied for the Emergency Solutions Grant through the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. The city requests a certain amount of funding, and this year they're applying for $300,000 to aid the city's homeless community. Last year, they applied for $450,000, but were granted approximately $100,000.
We have to be more mindful of how much we are helping individuals. We just need to make sure that we are truly helping the individuals that need the assistance.
Funds will be distributed beginning on July 1st. Mercy's Joplin chapter of Women with a Mission hosted a donation ceremony yesterday. The chapter has raised more than $100,000 for such projects as ultrasounds, surgical equipment, and cardiac services equipment for various departments. Women with a Mission Giving Society combines resources, vision, and passion for helping others to support and improve healthcare in its communities. KOAM and Fox 14 are starting a summer food drive as part of our Feed the 4 States campaign. Local food pantries have struggled since COVID, so any size donation makes a world of difference. As part of our summer food drive, we ask that you bring donations to your local food pantry, either in the form of cash or non-perishable food items. You can find a list of food pantries in the area on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Global businessman Elon Musk has dropped his lawsuit against the maker of ChatGPT. Plus, Hunter Biden is now the first son of a sitting U.S. president to be convicted of a crime. And Chris Warner returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from the water tower at Dewey and Finney Avenue in Neosho. Topping Nation Watch this morning, 4 more states have joined the U.S. government's landmark antitrust suit against Apple. According to a court filing yesterday, Indiana, Massachusetts, Nevada, and Washington have joined the lawsuit. That brings the total number of non-federal plaintiffs to 19 states plus the District of Columbia. The U.S. government and the states sued Apple in March. They accused the iPhone maker of illegally monopolizing the smartphone market. The filing comes a day after Apple announced artificial intelligence enhancements to its mobile and desktop operating system as its annual developers conference. Global businessman Elon Musk has dropped his lawsuit against the maker of ChatGPT. Yesterday, the billionaire's lawyers dismissed the lawsuit against OpenAI and CEO Sam Altman. Musk co-founded the artificial intelligence startup in 2015 and then left in 2018. He accused the company of reserving advanced AI technology for private customers. But OpenAI pushes back at those claims, arguing that Musk is jealous and the case should be dismissed. The February lawsuit has sought a jury trial and for the company and CEO to pay back any profit they received from the business. Musk's lawyers did not express why they decided to drop the lawsuit. A federal judge in Florida has struck down the state's ban on transgender care for minors, siding with advocacy groups and 3 families. In a lawsuit, the plaintiffs claimed a 2023 law took away the rights of parents to make medical choices for their transgender kids. The law banned doctors and nurses from prescribing or administering gender transition medication to people under 18. And medical providers who did so risked legal liability as well as professional discipline. Yesterday, the judge declared those provisions unconstitutional, noting that, quote, gender identity is real. The ruling also invalidates certain provisions that placed more restrictions on adults seeking transition care. Hunter Biden is now the first son of a sitting U.S. president to be convicted of a crime. The verdict allows his less than 2-week-long trial over charges that he lied about using crack cocaine when he purchased a gun nearly 6 years ago. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest on the verdict and the reaction from New York.
For the first time since his son's conviction, President Joe Biden and Hunter seen embracing Tuesday. A Delaware jury found Hunter Biden guilty on all 3 felony counts of making false statements about using drugs when purchasing a gun and unlawfully possessing that gun while addicted to drugs back in October of 2018. After the verdict, CBS News' Weijia Zhang spoke to one of the jurors who asked to remain anonymous.
We treated it just like we would any other case. It wasn't about Hunter Biden. It wasn't about his family. It wasn't politically motivated. It was what he did. The biggest thing that he did was lied about not being a drug addict and not using cocaine and buying a gun.
Hunter Biden's defense team tried to argue that at the time that he purchased the gun, Hunter believed he was in recovery and not addicted to drugs. But the prosecution used Hunter's own words from his memoir, describing his addiction to crack cocaine, to dispute those claims.
This case was not just about addiction. This case was about the illegal choices defendant made while in the throes of addiction.
Hunter left the courtroom holding hands with First Lady Jill Biden and his wife, Melissa. In a statement, he thanked his family for their support. President Biden, scrambling his schedule last minute to be with his son, released his own statement, reiterating that he will accept the outcome of the case, vowing to respect the process as Hunter considers an appeal. Jared Hill, CBS News.
The judge in the case has not yet set a date for sentencing. Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison, though legal experts say a first-time offender of a nonviolent crime is not likely to get the maximum penalty. A separate California trial against Hunter Biden on tax charges begins in September. He has also pleaded not guilty in that case. And that's a look at some of today's top national stories. Here's Chris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got just a couple of clouds out there. Otherwise, Skywatch Storm Tracker is clear. We will have sunny skies heading into the afternoon. A great view of the sunrise from our camera at 7th and Rangeline. Temperatures today very warm, low, mid to upper 80s, and just a light south breeze, so not much relief there either. We'll have more on your forecast when we come back.
Many online shoppers fear porch pirates, thieves who steal packages sitting outside homes. But in Columbus, Ohio, one daring thief did it right under a delivery driver's nose. Just as the FedEx worker dropped the box, the porch pirate swooped up. Jeannie Moose breaks down this swift heist, which was caught entirely on camera.
The FedEx guy delivers a package. Knock, knock. Who's there? An alleged thief left the FedEx guy stunned as the homeowner answered the door.
He just took the package.
It happened in Columbus, Ohio.
I sat down and I thought I heard a movement.
The homeowner was just as shocked.
They didn't even wait for the delivery driver to leave the porch. Swooped in real quick.
Swooped in and swiped Kyle Dorch's brand new Apple Watch. Commenters were irate. The nerve. Disgraceful. Now that's brazen. Columbus police say they're investigating. We've seen bad deliveries, like when this guy tossed a computer monitor over a gate, and heroic deliveries, like when a FedEx driver in Nebraska found a rattlesnake on the doorstep, got a rake and spade, and killed it.
Basically, you just whack them with a shovel.
Yeah, kinda.
But you can't blame this FedEx delivery man for not trying to stop the thief. At first, he seemed to mistake the hooded guy for the homeowner. A blue Honda arrived just as the package was being delivered, and the thief left in it, according to the homeowner.
But it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
Even if it gets stolen 4 seconds after delivery.
Oh.
Jeannie Moose, CNN, New York.
Those things are getting pretty gutsy nowadays. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Now we got a beautiful start to the day. Temperatures about average for now, but we are really going to start to warm up by this afternoon. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk about the heat, the rain chances, and just how hot it is going to get when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is 6:21 on this Wednesday morning. Starting with a quick look again at the fog tracker out there, and we still have some patchy fog, especially into our southern counties in northeastern Oklahoma. But again, conditions have improved. They didn't get too bad this morning, but you do want to be aware of some of that patchy fog this morning. And we're going to start the future track at about 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, because today is sunny, clear, and warm. Pretty simple. Now tomorrow, the majority of the day is sunny, clear, and even warmer. Look at these temperatures at 5 o'clock tomorrow. However, by the late night and overnight hours, that's when we could see a few stray showers and storms. We mentioned this yesterday, but initially it was looking as though most of the activity would stay to our north and just kind of do this, barely skirt us. But we are looking at maybe a thunderstorm complex that could come in very early Friday morning. So Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, maybe as far south as Lamar and Pittsburgh. And then that system will very quickly move out. And then through the day on our Friday will be partly to mostly cloudy, and we're getting into that season of those pop-up storms, the ones that develop out of the daytime heating. And you can see the future track doing its best. Pop-up storms are one of those things that even the computer models have a hard time with, because they flare up randomly and then they die just as quickly as they flare up. But we could see some pop-up showers and storms during the daytime and early evening hours on our Friday before we lose the heating of the day and those storms begin to die out. However, this is coming with an attendant risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. So tomorrow night into early Friday morning, mainly our northern counties could see one of those stronger storms. Friday, this is over a broader area. It's still a low risk, but some of those pop-up storms, even though they will be brief, could be strong to low-grade severe for the 20-30 minutes that they're active before they begin to fizzle back out again. So just something to keep in mind over the next couple of days. A couple of stronger storms are possible. The other thing to keep in mind over the next several days is our UV index is not going to improve much. It's a 10 today. It's very likely going to remain very high over the next several days. So burn time is 10 minutes for unprotected skin. So if you've got to be outside, one, with the increasing temperature, stay hydrated. Two, make sure you're taking appropriate precautions in the sun. And there it is, rising from our camera 7th and range line, 63 in Joplin right now, south-southeast breeze at 5. We are about average for temperatures to start the day, low to mid 60s, and then temperatures are going to go well above average as we head into the afternoon. Sunny skies to start, 82 by 11 o'clock this morning with a light south wind, no relief from the heat there. We'll continue to climb into the low to mid 90s as we head into the weekend. We're holding on to the 90s into next week. Overnight lows going well above average, low possibly even mid 70s with maybe a few stray evening showers on Tuesday. That's a check of your forecast. Now here's Elise with Health Watch.
Thanks, Chris. Well, surgery is more effective than other weight loss methods, according to a new study by the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery. Researchers found that diet and exercise typically resulted in a 7% drop in weight, but most people regain the weight after 4 years. Medications like Ozempic resulted in 10 to 21% weight loss, but once treatment stopped, about half the lost weight returned within a year. Gastric bypass and sleeve gastrostomies led to around 30% weight loss, and 25% of that loss was maintained 10 years post-surgery. Well, people battling obesity are less likely to buy unhealthy foods when prices are raised. A study published in PNAS Nexus found Americans with a higher body mass index were more price sensitive than people who aren't obese when they buy things like cookies and chips. The study authors say this suggests a tax on junk food could lead to people improving their eating habits. The first week after a baby is born is critical for the development of the senses. Researchers at the University of Zurich found in mice that smell and touch are the first senses they develop. These senses not only help form connections in the brain, but also help newborns nurse and bond with their mother. Researchers believe if one of these two senses is defective, it could lead to various neurodevelopmental disorders. The congressional panel questioned former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo about the thousands of nursing home patients who died from COVID under his watch. Cuomo's actions have been harshly criticized, and he has never expressed remorse. Aisha Hasni reports.
News today.
During the height of the pandemic, Andrew Cuomo seemed as omnipresent as the virus itself. But after years of laying low, the former New York governor made a rare public appearance.
New York performed very well, given the circumstances.
As he faced tough questions about his March 2020 order that required nursing homes to accept patients with COVID, a decision he reversed 6 weeks later.
Why did you mandate this?
CMS and CDC did very extensive, instructive guidance. And the investigations say New York followed the federal guidance.
Anybody that looks at it sees that the language was different, and it was very clear that you could not reject COVID-positive patients.
House Republicans also grilled Cuomo about a state attorney general report that found his staff misled the public by underreporting the number of patients killed in nursing homes by almost 50%, and if that was connected to Cuomo's $5 million book deal. Democrats, on the other hand, blamed former President Trump's administration for a lack of testing, but grilled Cuomo about preferential testing for family and friends. As they say, they'll keep following the facts.
You're walking away with the impression that he did the best that he could.
That's what I'm walking away with right now.
Today's interview, a huge win for New Yorkers like Vivian Zayas, who lost her 78-year-old mother, Ana Martinez, to COVID inside a nursing home.
My mother was incredibly hardworking. All we want right now is not an apology, but answers and accountability.
The COVID committee does plan on releasing the transcript of Cuomo's interview, and Republicans want to bring him in for a public hearing.
And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, some Carthage grade schoolers dived into the world of sea turtles.
And we've got ourselves a sunny start to the day. Very warm temperatures on the way. We'll have a look at that forecast. Get you out the door coming up.
Plus, meet a husband and wife who have become longtime staples of the Fort Scott Farmers Market.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's now Wednesday, June the 11th, and we are just a few days from the halfway mark for this month.
Yes.
And it is starting to feel like summertime
Really
across
is.
the area. I mean, it's
Really
been, we've had some hot days, but it's going to get even hotter than what we've seen, and it's going to stay hotter longer because we've warmed up. We've had little, cool downs back in the low 80s, upper 70s. Hasn't been too bad. That is not going to be the case as we continue into the weekend. But let's get you out the door first on what you need to know to start this day. We're going to start with a live look from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line in Joplin. It's pointed back down to the south, and you can see the skies are clear. The sun is shining. Temperatures already beginning to warm up. Fog tracker, again, we've had some patchy fog out there, primarily in our southern counties. Still showing some reduced visibility, so just be aware of that if you're traveling this morning. Nothing significant, but Grove, as you can see, down to about 6 miles of visibility. Future track, there is absolutely nothing to show on it as we head into the afternoon and early evening hours, other than the fact that it's going to be very warm out there today. We're about average as we start the day today, but this is going to be the last near average morning we have, at least based on the latest temperature data for overnight lows. I'll show you all that a little later. All right, here we are, low to mid 60s. We've got 59 in Jay and Cassville, so a couple upper 50s out there, but otherwise relatively normal for this time of year. And then later today, as our temperatures warm up, of course, that means our overnight lows will be a little warmer. We're going to be sunny throughout the entire day. Highs mid-upper 80s across the area, so you got to make sure you're staying hydrated with the sunshine. Make sure you're taking precautions. The UV index is high. And then we just have a light south breeze, so there's going to be virtually no relief from the heat when it comes to even just some kind of wind out there. There's not going to be anything. These temperatures aren't even as hot as it's going to get. We're going to see them climb higher as we head into the weekend. We also have some rain chances tomorrow night that we're going to talk about in detail with the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
We'll see you soon. Well, the Missouri Department of Conservation wants to remind the public that frog season begins this month. Beginning June 30th at sunset through October 31st. Those with a fishing permit or small game hunting permit may go frogging for bullfrogs and green frogs. The daily limit is 8 frogs in both species combined, and the possession limit is 16 frogs of both species combined. Even if you're not into frogging, the Department of Conservation encourages everyone to get out and enjoy nature this time of year. For more information on frogging, including recipes, you can hop on over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Some Carthage grade schoolers are diving into the world of sea turtles. In advance of World Sea Turtle Day, third graders at Steadley Elementary yesterday wrote about turtles and did turtle-related crafts. It's part of their 20 Days Around the World summer school journey designed to expand the students' horizons. It also provides some fun facts.
Lay over 115 eggs a day for 10 days. They lay it on the beach in sand in a hole, and then they cover it up with sand.
Well, another fun sea turtle fact, unlike other turtles, sea turtles cannot retract their flippers and head into their shells. The Bulldogs threw a block party last night. Carl Junction kicks off summer with fun with Second Tuesday on Main Street. The event features food trucks, games, bounce houses, booths, and so much more.
It's one, we're kicking off the summer with it. It's an event where we can come together as a community. We have something for everybody from bounce houses, foods, vendors. It's all about the community feel to kick off the summer for.
Well, just in case you missed this one, Carl Junction will host its Second Tuesday on July 9th. Schermerhorn Park is not only home to the SEK Nature Center, but also a cave, and you can find lots of bugs, spiders, and crickets in the cave along with a stream. The cave is home to 2 species of salamanders. The cave long-tailed and grotto salamanders are lungless and are unique to the Ozark area. You can also find the tricolored bat that calls the cave home. The cave is limited to authorized personnel only due to its many low places.
What they need to do is, number one, do not handle it. Anything that they might have on their hands, that animal can absorb and it could make them sick. So if they see something like that and they want to get a quick picture, otherwise they need to give it space. Because these are threatened and endangered in the state of Kansas, they have special protections. So people shouldn't be disturbing their habitat. We don't want them flipping rocks or moving them because they might hurt the microhabitat these animals live in or hurt the animals themselves.
Now, the park is open every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Well, many people come and go from the Fort Scott Farmers Market, but there's been one staple for the past 25 years. Ron and Beverly Brown sell fresh produce there and connect with the community through it. A former farmer, Ron, says he's just doing what he knows best.
We used to farm quite a little bit and got out of that didn't want to quit, so got into this. And we've been doing it, like I said, over 20 years now, and it's still agriculture.
The Fort Scott Farmers Market is open on Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 8 a.m. to noon. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Sporting Goods has announced a new line of baseball gloves that pay homage to the band The Grateful Dead. And we have another warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from the water tower at Dewey and Finney Avenue in Neosho, Missouri. In Consumer Watch this morning, now streaming services like Apple TV Plus and Netflix and Spotify and Max and more have raised their profile with new shows and new stars. They've slowly been raising their subscription prices too. And for some, it's just in time for the summer. Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at the price hikes consumers may have missed and how to cut back on some spending.
Escaping the summer heat to the air-conditioned comfort of a binge watch is getting more expensive.
If your original plan was, well, I'll save money, I'll get rid of cable, I'll have 1 or 2 streaming services,
Now you need multiple streaming services, and you're more or less right back to what you were spending when you had cable, the other day.
Among streamers increasing prices this summer, NBC Universal's Peacock, with higher prices for monthly and annual plans starting in July. Max, the streamer of Warner Brothers Discovery, CNN's parent company, will raise prices on its ad-free services by $10 to $20 annually starting in July. And Spotify will also boost costs for U.S. subscribers starting in July. The price hikes come as streaming media companies face their own increases in the cost of doing business as they expand content offerings to keep up with one another.
You have all these services all creating their own original programming, which is expensive to create. And in turn, you're going to have to pay a little bit more for those services.
Nicholas De Leon, senior tech reporter for Consumer Reports, says streamers will likely experiment with different offers like lower price tiers with ads to keep inflation-weary subscribers tuned in.
Expect to see more bundles, expect to see more promotions. If you buy this product, we'll throw in that service, that type of thing. So it's a little bit chaotic, but that makes it fun.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, some good news for anyone planning a summer road trip. Gas prices are falling. The average price nationwide for regular unleaded gas was $3.44 yesterday. That's down around 8 cents from last week and down 14 cents from this time last year, according to AAA. Energy experts say the decrease at the pump is due to lower oil prices and weaker demands for fuel. The Biden administration is also releasing 1 million barrels of oil from the Northeast Reserve to help ease prices. Discussions between Paramount Global and Skydance Media for a possible merger have ended without a deal. National Amusements, the media company that controls Paramount Global, said in a statement that the two sides were not able to reach mutually acceptable terms. The sale would have ended the Redstone family's long stewardship of Paramount Global. The Wall Journal reports that the family could instead be planning to sell National Amusements. And deadheads and baseball fans unite. Sporting goods company Rawlings has announced a new line of baseball gloves that pay homage to 3 of rock band the Grateful Dead's most iconic albums. Only 120 of each glove design were made, selling at nearly $450 a piece. And that's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a very warm day out there for us today. Looking outside, you can see the sun coming up from our camera on the Cornell Complex downtown Joplin. A couple of stray clouds. That's all that's left. It's going to be sunny today. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline looking to the south, showing us clear skies out there as well. We have had some patchy fog, mainly in our southern counties, but just as a heads up, you want to just be aware in case you run into some denser fog here and there. Nothing too crazy, but still. Want to make sure you're staying safe. Heading through the afternoon into the evening, future track is clear other than showing us these warm temperatures out there, and it is going to continue to heat up over the next few days. We're near average right now as we get the day underway, low to mid 60s. We've got a couple of 59s, Cassville and Jay, and then our overnight lows, of course, as the daytime highs heat up. That means we're going to stay warmer overnight as well. Today, again, sunny skies, highs mid upper 80s across the area, and with a light south breeze, not much relief there either. We're having another full look at your forecast, talk about how hot it's going to get, plus some rain chances tomorrow night. That's coming up in just a moment. We're also going to celebrate birthdays and anniversaries, but first, let's see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
Hello to you. I'm Gail King. Coming right up on CBS Mornings, Anthony Mason talks with Daniel Radcliffe. He has just received his first Tony nomination. You go, Daniel. He tells Anthony how taking Risk on Broadway made him even more confident as an actor after Harry Potter. That's coming right up on CBS Mornings.
Time for some Wednesday birthdays here in the 4 states, and we're going to start in Frontenac with Cole Thomas Mitchell Jackson celebrating birthday number 15. Says happy birthday from Grandma and Grandpa.
And over in Carthage, a happy 22nd birthday to Jamie Hernandez. It says happy birthday from her 2 little girls, Maisley and Leela.
And in Pittsburgh, Bob Fitzpatrick celebrating birthday number 75 says congrats on reaching middle age from your family and friends.
And over in Arma, happy 75th birthday to Jim McKinstry.
And in Weir, Don Watson celebrating birthday number 79. There he's pictured there with his great-grandson, Tate Bollinger.
And a happy birthday to Carl Mabe over in Columbus.
Also in Columbus, Dixie Layson celebrating another year wiser. Very happy birthday to you, Dixie.
And a happy 3rd anniversary to Dustin and Trina Ashmore over in Frontenac.
And in Fort Scott, Tom and Pat Christie celebrating their 53rd year of wedded bliss. Very happy anniversary to the Christies. And again, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries. And if you'd like to celebrate with us as much as we'd like to celebrate with you, Elise has the information that you need to know.
Go ahead and submit your birthdays and anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to include any photos and birthday messages, and to of course meet the deadline that you see there at the bottom of your screen.
Absolutely. And make sure, of course, your birthday or anniversary airs on the right day. Let's start with one more look outside from our camera on top of the Cornell Complex, downtown Joplin. There's the sun rising, and it is going to be beaming down. A lot of warm weather across the area. Temperatures will be warming up today. They'll continue to gradually rise heading into the weekend. Otherwise, we've got clear skies to start the day. Clear skies from the MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin, looking back to the south, and from the MoDOT camera in the Osho on 1659, looking back to the west. You can see again, we've got clear skies, and that will allow for ample warming to take place today. We will show you the fog tracker. We've had some patchy fog primarily along and south of I-44. Again, visibility is not significantly reduced, but it's been fluctuating out there. And of course, in low-lying areas, you want to watch out for maybe some denser areas of fog out there that maybe fall in between the reporting stations. So just be aware of that. We're going to start the future track tomorrow evening at 5 because again, today it is clear for most of Thursdays. You can see even heading into the evening, it is clear, just a little hotter tomorrow. However, we talked about this yesterday. We were looking at some thunderstorms. It looked like the best they were going to do was this and just barely skirt our northern counties. However, some new data has come in and it's suggesting we could get a complex of thunderstorms, at least for some of us. So Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, maybe as far south as Lamar and Pittsburgh before it begins to fizzle on out here. And some of those storms could be strong to low-grade severe out there, so we'll keep an eye on it for you. The rest of the evening is looking fine. Then we head into our Friday. By afternoon, we're partly to mostly cloudy, and again, we're into that pop-up storm season. So see those little green blobs popping up? Future track data, computer model data has a hard time pinpointing pop-up storms because they flare up very quickly. They last about 20-30 minutes and then they die. But we do have what the future track at least is letting us know is during the daytime hours when we get some of that good strong heating, which you can see we'll have plenty of, we could see a couple of pop-up storms out there. And some of those, believe it or not, could be strong to low-grade severe. Now again, they may not last more than half an hour or so, but during their little journey, they could be a bit on the strong side. So here's a look at what that looks like on the storm tracker. We've got that low risk mainly in our northern counties tomorrow night into early Friday morning for some strong to low grade severe storms. A broader area on Friday, but keep in mind at this point for Friday, we're looking at those pop-up showers and storms. So the ones that do pop up could be strong, low grade severe, gusty winds, small hail, and then they'll die out almost as quickly as they flare up. The other issue we're going to contend with over the next several days is the UV index. In fact, this is really going to be a thing into the summer until we start getting into rainier days, which that's not going to happen for a while. Burn time is 10 minutes for exposed skin and unprotected skin. So make sure, again, I know a lot of you have to work outside. You want to make sure you're taking precautions, taking breaks, limiting your time. And now on top of the high UV index with the extra heat, you want to make sure that you are also staying hydrated. Another look at that sunrise from our camera, 7th and Rangeline. Again, just a couple of stray clouds remaining. Those will be gone soon. 63 in Joplin, south-southeast breeze at 5. Around the area, again, for the most part, temperatures about average, but after this, as our temperatures warm up in the afternoon, that means our overnight lows are going to be much milder as well. Still got 59 in Jay and Cassville. Everyone else low to mid 60s across the area. And as we get our morning started, again, sunny skies, about 82 by 11 o'clock this morning. That's how quickly things are going to warm up today. And it's, again, going to continue to get hotter heading into the weekend. And we'll just have a light south breeze, too. So that means not much relief from the heat, even from the wind out there. We're going to take another look at your forecast, show you just how hot it's going to get over the next several days here in just a moment. And when we make the switch to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., we're going to see how a game from Iowa is creating a stir as its purpose is to help kids with autism.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. The city of Pittsburgh is requesting more than $300,000 in federal funding to help address the homeless issue. Every year, more than a decade, the city has applied for the Emergency Solutions Grant through the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. Last year, they applied for $450,000, but were granted approximately $100,000. Mercy Joplin's chapter of Women with a Mission hosted a donation ceremony yesterday. The chapter has raised more than $100,000 for various departments. Women with a Mission Giving Society combines resources, vision, and passions for helping others to support and improve healthcare in its communities. KOAM and Fox 14 are starting a summer food drive as part of our Feed the Four States campaign. Any size donation makes a world of difference. We ask that you bring donations to your local food pantry, either in the form of cash or non-perishable food items. You can find a list of food pantries in the area on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/feed. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, make sure you're taking precautions from the sun and staying hydrated in the heat as temperatures continue to warm. Mid-upper 80s, sunny skies and a light south breeze not providing much relief at all. Clear skies continue through the evening and overnight, 78 still by 10 o'clock. Lows tonight into the upper 60s. Again, we could have some of those late night storms Thursday into early Friday, and then some pop-up showers and storms possible Friday. Each of these cases, those storms could be strong, low-grade severe. Temperatures continue to warm, though. Take a look at that going into the mid-90s by this weekend. The 90s keep their hold into next week. Temperatures overnight into the 70s and maybe a stray shower to Tuesday evening.
Coming up today at noon, we're making Dad's beer marinated steak in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Have you noticed that the cost of your home and auto insurance has been rising? No, I have. Ahead on CBS Mornings, Jolene Kent is here to explain why they're going up and ways you can save.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, we'll see how an Arizona man survives a fall in Switzerland while trying to capture the perfect picture.
Plus, Al Patel and Toby Book join us in the studio to talk about Pittsburgh's second annual Kite Festival. However, it's going to wrap it up for us for now. For here, we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.